All right, storytelling Ron, and this is one of those lame videos about Pride Month. Okay, yep, anti-Pride. So I'm a Christian. I have a right, freedom of speech, to criticize Pride Month and homosexuality as a Christian, as an American. Thankfully, I have an individual right. The government can't come and tell YouTube or give you the power over me to silence me. I can criticize Pride Month and homosexuality. I live in Hollywood where there are tons of these rainbow things being posted at businesses and stuff. I don't go in and bother anybody about that. I don't, I went to Fatburger. I love Fatburger on my cheat day, and they got Pride stuff in there. I didn't give anybody a hard time. There's Pride stuff going on all along. I know the time and the place to do something like that, and I'm not going to do it just in front of people and stuff. The city is all about. The city has chosen its religion, which is homosexuality and Marxism and paganism, and I live in it. So, but I don't attack anyone or anything. I treat everyone with respect, but I get to preach. I get to have freedom of speech. I get to say what I believe, and if anyone asks me, no one does. But if that were the case, or if anyone brought up stuff, I would be able to respond freely. That's what I'm doing here on YouTube, because people here are promoting homosexuality, promoting their beliefs and pride, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And I'm going to promote what I believe, the gospel, and that's true freedom. Okay, and so if YouTube wants to, suppress us in this view of Christianity and claiming homosexuality is a sin, they need to state that openly as a thing where we're going to treat you differently than we do homosexuals. Like, we're going to allow homosexuals to promote it, and we're going to make Christianity a second-class citizen, which Islam does. Islam does that to everyone else. Everyone else is second class and doesn't have the same rights as Muslims, and that's part of their theocracy and government. So if that's the case, you need to just come out and say that. Like, Christians are not given the same rights as everyone else. You guys say those weird sort of inclusion and diversity and things, but just come out and say it. And so that thusly we know, we Christians know that we're being treated that way. My point being, if someone gets to promote something, then Christians get to promote their thing as well. Homosexuality is in direct opposition to Christianity. It's a belief system. It's a way of life. It pushes its agenda on everybody. It believes in government pushing its agenda on everyone. And, and Christianity is, I guess, somewhat similar. We certainly believe in the limitation of government. But anyway, I'm going to go through some stuff here about the RPGs. I've been just looking around and checking out what's going on for June and talk about all this. And also, another thing I want to say is that as far as gay homosexuals, I don't want you hurt, attacked, your life, being in terror or anything. I want you to have the freedom to be what you want to be. But at the same time, I want you to not use government to control my life or my ability to speak, or get companies to hurt my life, my living. It's called living. So my work, or what I'm trying to do, you get to have your say freely, openly. And so I should too. So I got to keep saying that to remind us that we have to be able to do this. Otherwise, we're not going to have a free society. We're going to have a tyranny, a Marxist tyranny. And I get to criticize all of that. And you get to criticize Jesus all you want. Okay, so let's go to some stuff here. This is RPG, obviously. RPG. I got some RPG stuff here, and then just some Pride stuff. But I want to use this one. Okay, so we're at Dungeons and Dragons on X. And, initially I saw them. They didn't have anything earlier, but now they do. They posted this gay pride thing here, and this Disney-esque looking strange, and they got we never have people affectionate in D&D, but then now that you have Pride Month, now that you have gay stuff, you're going to have to show sexuality, affection of sexuality in it, when we never had that in D&D. I mean, we certainly had buxom, voluptuous looking women type things in there, or saving the woman, or but we've never had this kind of thing. Now they're going to have sexuality in it, and that's yucky. And let me just go through some comments. And they're also doing it for Magic the Gathering. And 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 then Pride, of course, has a flag, which is, to me, a flag is a declaration of conquest or of territory, claiming a territory. And that's especially one big thing I don't like about Pride, the Pride movement, is that they use a flag. So it's an open declaration that you're going to war or you're taking territory, and they put that on government buildings now. And so that's upsetting, because that shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to use a flag. You shouldn't have a flag, and you shouldn't be waving it around. We Christians don't have a flag. We carry the cross. Now I know England carries the flag of St. George, but that's a nation, and that was a Christian nation. But now they're obviously going Muslim or something, or pagan. And the comments here are pretty snide. I'm going to read a few, but they're not Christian or anything. What the great thing about old school D&D is you be gay AF while kicking down doors, slaying some orcs, and bring home some gold coins. Now it's reduced to a Renaissance fair with cosplay infestation. Except those who like good art, apparently. That's funny. I don't get these. Oh, for F's sake. Taking a drink, yeah. Wizard sucks. D&D is for everyone, yes. I'm just reading it off the top here. But apparently not all the people who were fired this past December and the artists being shoved aside for AI art do better. You all are really in the comments mad about gay people existing, when you should be mad about WotC for planning to implement AI into game design. Everyone that's willing to give you money, your game is great, but your business practices really, really suck. Anyway, I prefer Paizo. Well, Paizo's the same, inevitably. I don't think I want to play D&D anymore. Oh, I should respond to him and say, for the Lord. He's got a Christian thing on here. Oh, I'm going to do that just for the fun of it. Check out my Christian RPG. So yeah, they're pure cringe. So that's not disagreeing, but return your old style. Yeah, so pretty negative stuff. Chaosium does Call of Cthulhu, so this is kind of an adult thing here. So they obviously reposted this, but this is like Baal. This is like a transgender male female androgyny, Hindu-y looking thing here. They're promoting that. They're promoting just deviancy, sexual deviancy here. And they even have more of that. They have this thing here. This is what is this? I still got a little cough. The Six Paths is Eden Jones' source book about non-traditional gender roles in the RuneQuest role-playing. Beautifully illustrated by Greg Stafford Award winner. It includes 6 examples of characters exploring the gender identities. So, androgyny, I used to think that pagan art was very good because of the Renaissance. I do medieval armored combat, and a lot of the pagans there do a lot of crafty stuff. I used to think, the pagan art is really, the pagans had a really good sense of art, but that's not true at all. Christians are actually the way more powerful artists. I mean, the Renaissance came out of Christianity. It came out of the explosion of liberation of Christianity in the church. The church taking over, Christendom taking over medieval Europe. Where it failed in Africa and the Middle East. Islam had wiped out Christianity, so there was no great art coming out of there. And China, Japan, no great art. I mean, the art is good, but and interesting, but it pales in comparison to the Renaissance, which was an explosion of freedom for everyone, including non-Christians, to do things. Let me go to Delta Green, and so that is where the great artwork has come from, and our desire to have great artwork comes from the Renaissance, which comes from Christianity, because the best pieces of art in Renaissance are Christian. I just deleted it. Okay, let me get back to this. I want to go see this dude. Delta Green area is very left wing and no Christians allowed kind of a thing, right? Delta Green, or the company that does Delta Green. Do they got Pride stuff in here? I don't see anything. Yes, and I'm here to rebuke. We need to start rebuking. That's February. Okay, so they're not even that active here. Looks like I forgot the company that actually does them. I don't even know. Is it this guy? me see if this one. Who does Delta Green? Is it Arc Dream Publishing? I don't play their games, so I don't really pay attention. Okay, whatever. Maybe they're out. Maybe they hate X. I don't know. Okay, let's go to Cubicle. Cubicle 7. Warhammer Fantasy stuff. Yeah. I don't have any of that anymore anyway. So any kind of no Pride. I don't see any Pride stuff. I know they're having controversies now with got some Amazon trying to get women in the Space Marine type thing, or the starts or whatever, the custodians. I don't know what that, whatever. I used to be a hardcore Warhammer 40K dude, but I just don't pay attention anymore. And I'm forgetting all the terminologies. So nothing there. That's kind of cool. Hopeful. Kobold Press. I mean, either way, I'm not, it's nice, but I'm still generally against all these role-playing games and stuff because they're pagan still. They still want you to be pagan, act pagan, play pagan. And I'm not 100% against it. I got to admit, I just watched Big Trouble in Little China again, which is a favorite movie of mine. And of course, it's full-on pagan stuff. So I'm not, we want storytelling. And sometimes we want to break from God, believe it or not. Yeah, having a rest day, even from like, say, God is, I think he understands that, but we shouldn't wallow in it, obviously, nor glorify it. But every now and then, you and I, we just need our little, and anyway, so nothing here in Kobold Press, which is cool. Let's go on to the Free League. Free League, I really do like. I really respect, what they're doing and all the games and stuff that they're pumping out. I wish I could get to that level, but I'm not. But whatever. But no, I don't see any Pride stuff. At least I just don't see any, which I really appreciate. I wonder if Mark Borg has any. So that's kind of cool. I like Free Leagues. Generally speaking, what they're doing. Mark Borg, they're part of Free League. June 2nd, Pride. Art. May 31st, Art. No, I don't see anything Pride here. That's cool. Modifius. They do good. Dune, Dream. I don't know, some of their tabletops. Any Pride? Don't see anything here. Oh, they do Fallout. I playing the Fallout game, and I've been meaning to make a video on it, but it's like that's like my post APOC game. Where you go around and establish churches, and convert the survivors, any kind of survivors you find. Fallout is about going around and establishing these little settlements, and there's the Bible is in there, there's churches in there, but every Bible is burnt. You can't even. The Bible is the number one book of all time in that area for sure. Why can't we find an actual Bible and use it in the game? Because it's offensive. But you do find comic books and graphic novels and magazines all intact, but not the Bible, even though we know the Bible's the number one book. And we find churches. And then, of course, all the churches seem to be creepy and whatever, and nothing going on there or bad things happening in them. So it's kind of, it's kind of frustrating in that sense that they got to erase Christianity. They obviously had to begrudgingly put it in there. Oh, Jesus, is my thing down? They had to begrudgingly put it in there. But, why can't we just have Christianity in the games? Why? Why not? Why is it? Oh, no, just paganism. No Christianity, or what they say is no religion and no politics, but what they really mean is no Christianity. Because there's always politics in it, obviously. There's, just in the storylines. But they have paganism in it. Tons of paganism. And what is paganism? And the way I define it, I know I'm defining it, I'm being whatever. But I do, there's only two religions. Christianity and paganism. That's it. There's only two religions, by the way. So here's how I define it. In Christianity, God is sovereign. God saves whoever he chooses. God's will. Paganism is, I saved myself. I saved myself. I'm good enough. I've decided to do these rituals, these sacraments, these things to save myself. Because I like the Christian, this Jesus thing is acceptable to me. I'll go ahead and take that one. Excuse me, I'm going to go through the pearly gates now when I die. Excuse me. Paul, Jesus, excuse me, I'm going to go through and go to heaven now. That's paganism. Paganism is when, you create the rituals, you create the sacrifices you want. And I'm going to be nice and have gray area there, but I'm just saying that's how I define it. You either God's will, God came down as Jesus and saved us, proved that he is the savior, he's the sacrifice, he's the ultimate whatever, or we are and we're not. So that's paganism. All right. Let's go to our Talzorian games. Oh, Cyberpunk. Yeah, okay, this guy. So yeah, I don't see any. I don't have Cyberpunk or anything, but obviously he's popular. I don't see anything on here. That's kind of cool. 22 hours ago. I mean, I'm not really reading it. I'm just looking for the rainbow colors, which I'm assuming they'd have the flag to define the conquering of this territory, the taking over of this. I don't see anything. World of Darkness. Oh yeah, there's the vampire thing, right? Wow. This one I would think they'd have some transy BLM flag, but no. Okay. I mean, I don't know much about them. All right. I'm going to move on to some darker stuff here in a sec. So that's I guess good news, or maybe that we're not going to get too much pride in our face all the time. And they get a whole month, which is really weird. I wish, Christianity, I wish we would just go ahead and start making every month Christian month, humility month, or grace month. I don't know. Maybe we are, and we just don't realize it. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade. I see some rainbow colors here. Let's look at this one. Oh, look at this. Yeah. See, and this means eternal life, I think, the symbol Ankh, the Ankh or something. Let's see. Is there like a really big post, or they just kind of subtly put it there? I mean, yeah, this one's pretty dark anyway, but what the heck is all that? Oh, Cain and Abel. Wow, that's interesting. This sort of is equal to another. Cain slaying Abel, although it is not depicted in bloodlines. Note that Abel is in the same position. Cain and Abel. I don't know what the heck. Why they're bringing this in. The Art of Bloodline, Sleep and His Half-Brother Death by John William Waterhouse. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to explore it. All right. I want to go to now when we have a culture now, paganism, where so when you define love as love, it's not love, it's love as lust. They're defining love as lust. Homosexuality, that's my Christian opinion of it, is lust. And lust is when you choose your own desires. Why did God give us sin? Why did he give us this thing? It's because he wants us to have an exit. An exit. The Garden of Eden, the reason there was a fruit, he said, do not eat the fruit of this tree, isn't necessarily because of the fruit of the tree or anything. It's because he gave them one rule that they could break, ergo have an exit. So an example is, if I give you Disneyland, if I'm God and you're whatever, I give you Disneyland, you have Disneyland, you can have as much fun as you want, but you can never leave. There's no exit. So you would not be free. You would be in a prison. So God gives us an exit from him, which is sin. And that sin, he makes it to be joyful and used to, sex to be joyful and used in his way. But if you choose not to use it in the way he created it, because he's obviously given us things to be joyful and love and enjoy, foods and sex and physical things. But he also has given us an exit, which is sin. And homosexuality is one of those exits. We can choose that, or promiscuity, divorce, being untrue, using sex in a very horrible way, an exploitive way. So he's given us an exit from him. So, so he's not like imprisoning us. He's giving us freedom to leave him, at least for a while, to show who we really are. So we are given that opportunity. And what's happening today is that everyone is choosing that. They're choosing their sin, and it's becoming the cultural thing. And we Christians have to fight back. So this guy thinks that he can say things about a man's son. Nothing. So some guy posted, his 3-month-old son, and then this woke comedian, nothing and no one can prevent the possibility that he is gay. And when he grows up, he gets tired of sucking black. So the guy confronts him at a comedy show and attacks him physically. Obviously I'm not for him attacking him physically. But But I do a Christian RPG. I do medieval combat. I look at church history. And to be honest, at some point, violence is the only answer, because let's just say he came, and I'm not supporting violence, but I understand why this guy lost it, right? He lost it. He got he got angry. He's trying to control himself in this video. He doesn't like full on attack him, but he smacks him around a couple times. But he's definitely trying to control himself. What I'm saying is, evil, right, at some point doesn't respond to, no, it's not going to respond to reason or logic, and they're not going to respond to just protesting. Like, what if he brought a church group outside and put signs and protesting? The comedian would have just made more jokes about it and mocked it, and then been encouraged to do it even more, because that would have given him more likes and more views and more controversy, and that's what he wants. He wants controversy, and he's willing to go to pedophilia jokes to do it, this woke comedian. So at some point, the Christians got to say, no, we're going to threaten you with violence. And what I mean by that is laws. I don't think that there's any laws stopping this pedophilia culture. Like we're loosening the law so pedophiles can start promoting themselves with jokes, with harmless things, with TED Talks. And we as Christians are allowing it, well, because we're trying to be nice and we're trying to be tolerant. But at some point, there's a line that can't be crossed. And we need to, as Christians, say that line can't be crossed anymore, and that means violence. And I'm not advocating violence, but the law has to support stopping pedophilia from being a cultural norm. This comedian cannot be making cultural jokes like that. We should not allow it, period. And remember, every law is a violence, is a law, sentence you to death if you don't follow that law. And thusly, we Christians want a modicum, I'm putting the bottom of the screen here, modicum of civility, a modicum of laws of morality that we cannot pass. And that's this pedophile thing. Sadly, we're way too tolerant of like the transgender brutality of children. We're allowing way the drag queen thing. That is, to me, crossing the line. We don't believe in throwing stones, and this guy, I understand where he's going, but we do need laws, and we need laws to prevent people from thinking they can do this, especially to children. Pedophilia, drag queens, promoting sexuality for young ages, grooming. We think that the government schools have crossed that line with this grooming and pushing of the pride thing, and the pride thing. Please, homosexuals, and fight this. Fight you, not children. Allow the children to be children. And allow them to go towards heterosexuality. Now, if they become gay in the end, and when they're 18, fine. I can't stop certain individuals from sinning, but like a murderer, we have to stop from sinning. So there are certain stops. Rapists, we have to stop from sinning, and that requires violence or the threat of violence to stop them. Evil, true evil cannot be converted to, as a Christian. They're absolutely evil. And this is what we as the Christians, hardcore Christians with Calvinists or whatever, believe, that God made some people truly evil. We cannot stop them through conversion. We have to stop them by subduing them, threatening them with violence, in the law, so that they won't do their evil. That's anyway. So when we have Christians coming out like vigilantes, we know there's a problem. We need to get laws and enforce laws and stop the mob mentality of it. But these Christians don't know what else to do. I don't know if he's Christian or not, but he's fighting. If he's going to fight against this type of humor, nothing and no one can prevent the possibility that he is gay, and when he grows up, he gets tired of sucking black. Nothing and no one can prevent the possibility. See, so he's trying to say he has all the power to hope that your baby will grow up doing sodomy. And so he was violent on this guy and smacking him around. Nothing. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I certainly understand that our culture is failing in allowing paganism to promote pedophilia now. They're trying to promote it as a sexual orientation. They're trying to promote it as just part of their DNA, so that they don't have it's who they have to be. and that's what they did with homosexuality. They promoted it as a gay gene, which is not, to convince us that, oh, they don't have a choice in the matter. Oh, we got to accept that. And of course now they're forcing us to accept it in other ways. So, and we've got the FBI going to pride parades, which to me I find offensive. Like they're choosing. This is the FBI. There's a video of them walking in the pride. This is just a few blocks from me. They're walking in this. I mean, would they walk in, I don't know, a Christian parade? Would they promote with the cross? Would we allow the FBI to do that? Because this is a religion. It's a religion where they're pushing their belief on us. And that's another thing. They're saying they're not a religion, but yet they have these rules and they have these things that they require of all of us. And they have flags to declare their territory, and they have meetings, and they have political agendas, and they're like Islam. Actually, they're a theocracy. They're pushing it. They believe in government. They believe in getting the government FBI to promote them. So the FBI is not going to say Merry Christmas. It's not going to say Happy Easter. I mean, I don't know. It used to, right? Because it used to be Christian. We used to be a Christian society, open to Christians. We would pray on the radio. The president would pray a Christian prayer on the radio during World War II, during the moon landing or whatever. But now we're not. And I'm not. I'm not saying Christianity is not similar in the sense of having a government sort of culture. I'm saying we need to get back to that. It's better. It's the one and only. This pride thing is pushing. In the end, the pedophiles are going to come in and take over. The trans are going to come in and take over and turn this into what they really want, which is pedophilia, transgenders, butchery, and grooming of children. So Allie Beth Stuckey did a good response to this woman who says she's a Christian and promotes, and then is promoting, and her assistant is promoting gays. And that's another thing I do notice too about gays. They get into your groups being super nice and supportive of you. They're super nice, and I've seen this in productions and stuff. And they just want to serve and help, and they want to cry because they have emotions and stuff. But when they get enough power when they get under your skin enough, then they start to promote their homosexuality, and they start to get you to promote it. And you gotta not let that happen. Like, I'm not gonna allow a gay person, however nice, to come into my group for the Lord, and they want to be Christian and they want to change, and I'm like, well, okay, you get that figured out before you come into my group. You go to church, you live it out, figure it out. I'm not gonna, because they want to come in and be your friend and then turn you, and that's what this person is doing. She's the buddy of her. She's promoting it, going to a queer jam, pride jam, and then getting her to concede. And Allie Beth Stuckey corrects her on what is love. Love is truth. You got to give them the truth. You can't love a drug dealer. You have to love the drug dealer by stopping them from dealing drugs. That's love. Stopping a drug dealer, stopping a sinner. I guess they would take it out. Watch, I'm done. Democrat California State Senator roast party for trying to protect pedophiles. So, California law deems buying or soliciting sex from a child a misdemeanor. Huh? What? I don't, I'm so overwhelmed with how Democrats and evil, how thorough they are. I didn't even know this was. The offense can result in the perpetrator spending 2 days to a year behind bars, along with paying $10,000 fine. 2 days to a year. And how many of them even get, for buying or soliciting sex from a child? So a GOP state senator, and we only have a handful in there now because the Democrats are a super majority here in California now, wanted to beef it up to 2 to 4 years of prison, as well as sex offender registration. And the Democrats killed it, or watered down the bill. I think 17, 18-year-olds or 17-year-olds. I don't know the details, but she is like enough is enough. You know, she's saying they're getting. Let's get our stuff together and really start focusing on some important things. We talk about learning. We talk about being safe. This is like at the core of it. And a lot of these kids can't be throwaway kids. They're poor kids. They're kids of color, but they shouldn't have to live a life determined by what happens to them by others at a very young age. And by having the Democrat Party of California say it's okay, it's not okay. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing it anymore. And I hope none of you do too. We have to be able to draw a line. And for me, I'm drawing a line. I urge you, your I vote, your yes vote. So remember, homosexuality requires the men to go and perform fellatio on other the boys to get them to become gay. Performing fellatio on them, getting them addicted to fellatio in their teens or whatever, because obviously teens are very horny. Getting them addicted to fellatio, getting them addicted to shame, imprisoning them in shame, and then they go become gay because they're wallowing in their shame, and the only way to then feed that shame and that addiction of fellatio is by other gay men, and so they have to go and live that life. Thankfully, God is in charge, and He can save who He wants to save, and He will save those who need, are going to be saved out of it. So that's the thing about Calvinism that gives us peace, that He will save anyone that is drawn into this horrible thing, being sexually groomed. So yeah, this is a very controversial video, I guess. I can't put this stuff in my games, which is a bummer in the sense of I want us to learn about it. I want us to actually experience it as a role-playing thing, to then learn how to confront it, learn how to see it and spot it. But obviously I can't put this in. It's just so dark. I want to put all the sort of things pagans do: child sacrifice, child pedophilia, manipulating people, getting them to accept it. I want to put all that in this game because I want us to all learn what paganism does. But obviously I can't put this kind of stuff in there. So I just stick with slavery and drug, the sort of the drug magic and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to role play this. I wouldn't be able to GM this. It's just too, that's depressing. I mean, depressing because it exists, and depressing because I don't know how to teach it in the way that I want to teach it. Louisiana passes bill ordering surgical castration of convicted pedophiles. Yeah. I mean, make sure they're fully guilty, absolutely guilty, but they're going to castrate pedophiles, child rapists. Of course, the Democrats worked to stop it, but Louisiana was able to pass it. So that's kind of good news. And what I like about this is that it's supposed to prevent, this type of laws that are you have to have laws like this. You have to have frightening, violent laws that get them to realize they have to stop. You have to subdue evil. You have to subdue evil. You cannot convert evil. You have to subdue it so that this life is manageable, that the wicked and the evil are not, we don't allow evil to be evil. We have to subdue it, and it's stuff like this that does it. So, so that's what's my point. My point is, we Christians, we can't go along to get along anymore. We have to rebuke. We have to learn how to evangelize. We have to plant churches again. We're losing our churches to the pride people, to their pride thing. That's another line crossed. They're coming into our churches. I mean, if you read, here's one funny thing. This is one thing about the Bible I disagree on. I mean, what's the book called? It's the second to last book before Revelation. It's, oh my gosh, I keep reading Judas. No, Judas is the bad guy. Judah. I got Jude. The book of Jude. I think it's Jude. Yeah, Jude. The book of Jude. Read it. It's really about what's happening to the churches today. And the pride thing. Yeah, Jude. Okay, Jude. It's an amazing. I'm gonna go to do this real quick because I'm kind of excited here. Okay. It's gonna cuts it off a little. Let me just go to the big screen. What the heck? Okay. I really love this. I mean, I disagree with it, but I love it. Okay. Beloved, although I made every effort to write, I just want to get to the, okay. Although you are fully aware of this, I want to remind you that after Jesus had delivered his people out of the land of Egypt, he destroyed those who did not believe. And the angels who did not stay within their own domain, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in eternal chains under darkness, bound for judgment on that great day. In like manner, Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities around them who indulged in sexual immorality and pursued strange flesh are on display as an example of those who sustain the punishment of eternal fire. So we're making the context now about sexual immorality and pursued strange flesh. Yet in the same way, these dreamers defile their bodies, reject authority, and slander glorious beings. But even the archangel Michael, when he disputed with the devil over the body of Moses, did not presume to bring a slanderous charge against him, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." Interesting. Yeah. These men, however, slander what they do not understand. So these men he's talking about are sexually immoral men. What they do not understand, and like irrational animals, they will be destroyed by the things they do instinctively. Woe to them! They have traveled the path of Cain. They have rushed headlong into the error of Balaam. They have perished in Korah's rebellion. Yeah, these men are hidden reefs in your love feasts, shamelessly feasting with you, but shepherding only themselves. It sounds like the gay culture. They are clouds without water, carried along by the wind, fruitless trees in autumn, twice dead after being uprooted. They are wild waves of the sea, foaming up their own shame, wandering stars, for whom blackest night has been reserved forever. This is some serious dark poetry here. Oh, wait. Okay, but I forgot. I got to go back up here. Beloved, although I made every effort to write to you about the salvation we share, I felt it necessary to write and urge you to contend earnestly for the faith entrusted once for all the saints. For certain men have crept in among you unnoticed. That's the thing that the gay people, that's what they do. They creep in unnoticed, your friends, caring, helpful, ungodly ones who were designated long ago for condemnation. So this is a whole Calvin-y thing, designated long ago. They turned the grace of God into a license. See, the grace of God, the forgiveness, the love, the giving us grace so that we don't deserve it, into a license for immorality. And they deny our only master and Lord Jesus Christ. See? That's what the gay culture is doing. It's saying, God is love. God is love. He's grace. They're saying God is grace. So that gives them a license for immorality. So God already knows them. He's already pegged them. God waits. I like to say God waits because he's going to get them in the end. God is vengeance, not me or you. So be at peace about this. But again, do some evangelism, plant churches. I love this. These men, I'm going to repeat it. These men are hidden reefs in your love feasts. Hidden reefs in your love feasts. Shamelessly feasting with you, but shepherding only themselves. They gather their own so that they can become the board members. They can become the deacons and the elders. They can be, but they're acting like you for a while until they get enough of them. That's what happens at all these companies and those foundations where they got, like Rockefeller Foundation. The liberals and the gays will be one or two, and then the conservatives in there are like, oh, you're so nice, you're so wonderful. And then they'll be like, yeah, and we have another person who we really trust. We can let them come in. Oh, okay. I'm an open conservative. I get along to go along, and I'm so diverse myself and so open and cultured. Yeah, let's bring in some liberals, and so, yeah, we're wonderful liberals. We really care about this. But once they get enough, boom, we're pushing, it's our agenda, and they kick out the conservatives, and they never, ever hire a conservative or a Christian or whatever. Never again. They once they move those out, never, it's all left-wing agenda at that point, Marxists or whatever, controlling these foundations, controlling all that money, and using it for the agenda. They are clouds without water, carried along by the wind, fruitless trees in autumn, twice dead after being uprooted. They are wild waves of the sea, foaming up their own shame, wandering stars, for whom blackest darkness has been reserved forever. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, also prophesied about them. Behold, the Lord is coming with myriads of his holy ones to execute judgment on everyone and to convict all the ungodly, to every ungodly act of wickedness and every harsh word spoken against him by ungodly sinners. These men are discontented grumblers, following after their own lusts. I mean, that's what that woke comedian is doing. Their mouths spew arrogance. They flatter others for their own advantage. So they flatter others for their own advantage. You notice that in the gay culture too. Oh, they say wonderful things to you, and then they always talk about horribly behind your back kind of thing. Gossipers and all that. Here's the part I don't like, because I'm a sinner, obviously. But you, beloved, remember what was for. My throat's kind of dry. Remember what was foretold by the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ, when they said to you, "In the last times there will be scoffers who follow after their own godly desires." So the context of this all is about the end times. And that's what, all this stuff is describing is the gay culture, the pride culture, the left culture, the Marxist culture, but mainly the gays that coming into the church and change and corrupting the church, and people accepting it, people conceding to it because they're all of this light fluff and flattering words, and these are the ones who cause divisions. Who are worldly and devoid of the Spirit. They're worldly. They're bringing in their worldliness into our church, causing us to divide. But you, beloved, okay, here's the part I don't like. But you, beloved, by building yourselves up in your most holy faith and praying in the Holy Spirit, keep yourselves in the love of God as you await the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ to bring you eternal life. Well, okay, next thing. And indeed, have mercy on those who doubt. Save others by snatching them from the fire. And to still others, show mercy tempered with fear, hating even the clothing stained by the flesh. That's the part I'm like, there's obviously a love and humility in how we deal with even, but they're corrupting the churches. They're and he's like, no, you got to be nice, pray for them, have mercy on those who doubt. Okay. Save others by snatching them from the fire. I don't really want them just to go into the fire. So, yeah, this is obviously, I'm being silly, obviously, but this is an amazing. I love Jude, man. This is like this really, and I got this from a sermon too. Like when I was at Grace Community, I was vexing over this exact. Does the Bible ever talk about this? This is a huge thing. Gays coming into the church, corrupting the churches, getting female pastors, all this stuff, trans. Putting the pride flag in, saying don't hate, love is love, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, this is huge. Why the Bible always seems to like cover things, but I like there's nothing in the Bible about this. What's going on? But literally that Sunday, the second, not the main service, but the fellowship service, a guy did a visiting seminary student pastor did this, and I'm like, oh yeah. And so we'll be okay. If you're the chosen, you're part of the faith, you love Jesus Christ, you're pursuing God, we'll be okay. We gotta just, God's got this. Okay. So don't freak out too much. But do start to, the funnest, easiest way for, and it's my ministry, so I'm going to push this all the time. The funnest, best to me, and I don't know, I'm an idiot, so take that for what you can, is to do For the Lord RPG, check out the game, get into it, commit yourself to it. It's fun. It's all about having fun, but it's about this, working on this in the game, working on it. You, the players, the fellowship, Christians, and as you guys do this, I'm hoping you become a ministry with your group, and you start working on it, start spreading it for yourselves. And again, I don't own the rules. Like, you can't copyright the rules. I can copyright the timeline of Christians in Space, but the rest of these are pretty, the Dark Ages is really sort of, based on history. And then the Apostles one is just, you can kind of create your own random world, because it's all based on sort of rolling your own tables and creating your own hex map and randomizing that. The Christians in Space one is a little more, I guess, copyrighted, because I'm creating a specific timeline. But if you're doing your thing and you want to create and make a ministry and, make a living off of it too, I'm not going to come after you, because I don't want to. I want you to do it. I want you to be successful. I'm old and tired. Young guys, take this on. Again, Dark Ages, Apostles, I'm not really going to own anything there. There's the game system and then ideas. The Christians in Space one is a little more whatever, but And if you're going to be a pagan and still in this game, good luck. You know, literally luck. That's all you've got. You got 12,000 other RPGs out there you got to compete with. If you're a Christian, just that makes two of us now, or you know, a handful of us, and not very many that have evangelism in it, and not many that have evangelism. I don't think any have evangelism. I'm not really sure. I don't know all. And church planning. That's the whole goal of these games, and the goal is to teach us to be evangelists, or to get that back in our psyche, because I don't feel like we have it, or at least in the RPG culture, our Christian RPGers. We're being brainwashed and lulled into being pagans in the way we play, the way we do things in the RPG. So stop it. Be a Christian. Gospel in the game. The Sword Coast gives you the rule that says you can be a strange, weird, far out cult that occasionally comes into Forgotten Realms and pushes your cult on them, you know, and of course you get probably subjugated or whatever, but still do it. You can do it. There's actually canon. You can actually bring in a strange cult that comes in and preaches and causes problems. That's the kind of character. Make a paladin that way. Make a cleric that way. And the GM and the players are going to hate you. Well, you're doing your job. They're going to hate you. They're going to kick you out, probably. That's okay. You will survive. And you know what? You can thrive like I am right now. It's taken me a couple of years now to finally get actual players, and I've got them. And I'm kind of full-ish, you know, or it's working, and they're great. We're all having a great time. Okay? So be a Christian. Play Christians. Work on evangelism in the game. Fellowship. It's awesome. And watch my channel watch some of the shows. I mean, they're kind of, you know, podcast them, listen to them. All right, in the game of life, I got work to do. Lots of work to do, actually. I'm finishing up Christian Space. Oh my gosh, I got to get to work. In the game of life, roll holy dice.